Hey, Sip Sip. One of the funniest things to me is to see a penny with some ground beef. And if you're not familiar with that, this is Sip Smoke and Chill, and this is Ronnie, where we have real talk, we have real conversations. So if you don't know what a penny is and you don't know what ground beef is, maybe you need to go watch my other video where I talked about the classes or the types of women and the types of men. So there's a woman, you know, you got your dimes, your nickels, and your pennies. Then in men, you have, I think, your prime rib, or your filet mignon, your prime rib, or your sirloin, and then you have your ground beef. Ground beef being the lowest when you rate men in classification. So ground beef is not high value. He's the lowest, you know, on the tier. So the funny thing to me is, you understand what I'm saying? This is Sip Smoke and Chill with Ronnie. I'm Ronnie. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up, man. It's 99 degrees out here. I'm buttoned up, suited and booted, coming from work. You know, had a good day. I left a little later than normal, but you know, it is what it is. But I just saw something and I had to get on here because this is Sip Smoke and Chill, where you get a glimpse into my head, the things that I think, the things that I see, what I think about certain things. You get my opinion on stuff. Because my opinion sometimes is not like everybody else's. Rest in peace, Jersey. Hey, gonna miss you forever, my bro. 87 Prairie View, Holly Hall. What's up? So, I just left work, and I saw some ground beef driving and a penny in the passenger seat. Now, I'm gonna give you an example of this. Just to sum up ground beef. Ground beef for men that don't, basically they don't have no hopes, no dreams, no desires, or they do, no goals. They're not basically going anywhere, you know, at this stage. Not that they can't, that's another conversation. But at this present moment, they're not going anywhere, don't want anything, will accept anything and everything, right? So they just look any kind of way, you understand what I'm saying? Looking for a come up. And a penny, and that's the man. Ground beef is the man. So you notice these men because they typically wear pajamas outside. They have their pants sagging, their hair's not combed, just stuff like that. You know, a little musty. Then if you had a gun, then they think they're gangster, but that's something else. So when you see a penny, a ground beef with a penny. So pennies in the tier of women, you got your dimes, your nickels, and your pennies. Your penny woman is one that really low value. She don't really bring nothing to the table. And if she does, it's not that good. You understand what I'm saying? She lay around, probably got an EBT card. You understand what I'm saying? A couple of children, a couple of baby daddies to match. You understand what I'm saying? So you can tell by the way she acts, she loud, she talk, she know everything. Oh, I thought a penny said something. Yeah. So I left work on the freeway, going to the crib. And so I see this car next to me at the light, and we're getting on the freeway. Now, this car is probably about an 8 to 9 year old Jeep. Not a bad looking vehicle if it was clean. So the vehicle was dirty. So I already know that he's a ground beef type of man because number one, high value men that value things don't typically ride around in dirty vehicles. So the vehicle's dirty. The passenger window is down. Not all the way, some way. You know, halfway. So then I look at him, just looking, because I'm observing, just observing my surroundings. I'm looking, and by the way, I look at everybody. I look at all kind of shit, because you never know. It can go down anyway. So I'm looking at him, observing, you know, his hair is just all over the place, kind of like somebody did him like this, and just, you know, t-shirt he had on didn't look like, you know, it looked like it sat in the dryer for, you know, a day or two before he took it out and put it on. Cars, you know, just looking dirty, right? And then she's sitting there. I couldn't see her, but I can imagine how she looked. You understand? Because the tint on the windows in the back was darker than the tint on the front. Only thing I could see is her waist or her legs and her thighs on the dashboard. You know what I'm saying? Because she had her feet on the windshield. You understand what I'm? Both feet. Like with her heels like this, with She had the, I think it was her left foot was on the damn windshield, pressed back like that, with both feet on the dashboard. You understand? And then she had on some pajama bottoms. You know, and her toes didn't look, they weren't polished. You understand what I'm saying? So that tells me two things. That tells me about him, and that tells me about her. And I know you're gonna have some people, you shouldn't judge a book by cover. Guy, I'll be damned. You judge a book by its cover all the time. When you pick it up, you look at it, right? And you read what it has on there. So in this instance, I'm reading the cover to see what's going on in this book. So, car dirty, but then this is to top it all off, is that she got her foot on the windshield and they riding around, and then to top it all off, the car's dirty, and then I'm looking at him, he driving kind of reckless, but then the tire on the front is low. The tire on the front, say a normal tire is here, this tire was like this, and the car is leaning to the passenger front. So like this, and I'm thinking to myself, God damn. You understand what I'm saying? This joker, and that's how I know he's a hamburger, because he doesn't have the wherewithal to look at the tires. You know, certain things that high value men or a man like myself, I'm going to observe and notice certain things. You know, I'm going to check certain things out. You may not notice it, but I notice it. You understand what I'm saying? I look at my car, I happen to glance at my tires to see what's going on. You understand? In addition, I have the thing on the dashboard that says, hey, ding, ding, tire pressure is low, right? So that tells me, and just the way that they look at, who has the window down, and this, my truck saying right now, it's 99 degrees. I've been outside a couple of times today, walking and watching and looking to see what the guys are doing, and it's hot. You understand what I'm saying? I got on this denim shirt, so I know it's hot out there, and I just stayed out there at the most 10 minutes. And it's just funny to me to see them look that way, and just, you know, and this ain't got nothing to do with their happiness, you know, their education. They ain't got nothing to do with it. It's just an observation that I was making and bringing it to the forefront. Have you ever seen some people like that? And you looking at them and trying to understand, like, certain things, you know, well, I don't have, no, certain things you can do. You know, like, I believe in keeping a clean car. You know what I'm saying? Certain things you can do without money, because you're going to do it anyway. You understand what I'm saying? You put your time, energy, and effort in those things that interest you, things that you value. So apparently he don't value his transportation, or he don't value her transportation, because I don't know whose car it was. It didn't have any identifying symbols or trinkets on the car that would let me know that that's hers, like a bedazzled steering wheel cover or a bedazzled license plate holder. So it could have been her car or his car. But if it's his car, that's sorry. In my book, that's sorry for you to ride around with that car being like that. Well, it rained. Yeah, it did rain. But guess what? Still sorry. So that's my soapbox. I'm on it for the day. Today is Friday. We almost in June. Half the month is gone. What's your goals? But hey, 2026 gonna be my best year. More travels, more smiles, more hugs, more parks, more picnics, more laughing. So more sharing, more caring. Hey, if you like this video, give me the thumbs up. Go watch them other videos. I got the link in the comment. You need to watch the one on pennies, being the female version, and you need to watch the one on ground beef, and tell me what you think. Am I right? Am I too far off? I know I ain't, but you know, I would like to hear what you'd like to say, because this is Sip, Smoke, and Share, where we take your comments, questions, concerns, whatever. Let's voice them. Let's have some adult dialogue about this, and you know, understand. Let's chop it up, hype this thing up, pipe this thing up. Sip, sip.